What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for dropping in here today. Today I am at the lake. It hasn't been too nice here in southern Ontario, and then just about 15-20 minutes ago the sun was shining, and that doesn't happen every day. So I'm here at the lake. I know it doesn't look too nice, but it was nice when the sun was out. Might as well get straight into this video. Today I'm going to be talking about fear and how to overcome the fear and accomplish your goals. So first thing, what is fear? Google here says that, well, we all know that fear is just like when you're scared of something, right? Google says fear is natural, powerful, and primitive human emotion. It involves universal biochemical response as well as a high individual emotional response, or an unpleasant emotion caused by belief that someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain, or is a threat to us. We've all felt fear. We've all felt anxious for certain situations or certain events that are coming up in our lives. But let's talk a little bit about some of our primal fears. I was listening to a podcast, and in the podcast, the guy spoke about his friend that went to Brazil to live in the jungle for 3 months. So he went to Brazil, lived in a tent in the jungle with 3 other people. They had to hunt for their food and water and do all that stuff. The guy said that the scariest part of being there was the fact that they could be attacked by cheetahs cheetahs at any second. So they would have to sleep with machetes in their tent, and you know, they're always kind of on edge and ready for something. They also had to go out every single day to hunt for the food to feed themselves and their family and the other people that are there. So those were their stressors. That's what was stressing them out. They had that fear that they could die of starvation or die from an animal trying to kill them. Basically die from starvation or die from an animal that's not trying to die from starvation too. After that 3 months that guy was there, he said that it was the best time of his life. When he was there, the only 2 worries he had was those things: staying alive and making sure there's food. Besides that, it's just beautiful, surrounded by nature, nothing but the birds chirping in the morning and all that stuff. He then came back to the United States and got right back into his normal life. And that life consisted of, you know, going to work, paying the bills, meeting all of society's demands and expectations. And he said that just a day into being back in the United States, he was already feeling so depressed, the most depressed he's ever felt in his life, and probably the most stressed he's ever felt in his life. So he decided that he needed to sleep out in a tent in his backyard for I think he slept in a tent out in his backyard for like a couple months after he got back, to ease his way back into the society and that feeling. So basically with that story, it shows that we live in a society where there's high demand, so there's lots of stress and fears of will we be able to pay the bills? Will we be able to provide food for our family? Will we be able to provide food for ourselves? Will we be able to are we gonna lose our job? Is this person gonna snitch on me because I left early the other day because I had to go pick up my son from school and because he got expelled and blah blah blah. So we're living in this world like this, and we have these desires. We all have these desires to do more or do better than we're already doing, or have a purpose in the world, right? Well, to find that purpose and reach those goals, we gotta take the steps to reach them. And the thing that comes with going to approach those next steps is the fear. It comes the fear of being rejected. It comes the fear of not being good enough. Maybe you want to apply to this job, and you've applied to that job, but you haven't called ahead to show your interest because you're afraid of you might say something that messes up everything, or that you might not be good enough to them, and they might reject you. Or maybe you wanted to talk to this girl and you're afraid to do that because you're afraid of rejection. You're afraid of what they might think or what your friends might think or whatever. The only way to get one step closer to your goals and what you want to do is to take that step in fear. Take that step into the fear, stepping out of your comfort zone. And say you don't believe in yourself. I heard this and it stuck to me. It's a very good saying. You don't need to believe in yourself to move forward and get one step closer to your goal. You don't have to believe in yourself to take that next step out of your comfort zone through that fear to try to reach the goal. If you're taking that step through that fear, even though you don't believe in yourself, you're already like 10 times ahead than everybody else, because there's so many people that don't want to take that step because they don't believe in themselves. They feel like they need to believe in their heart and soul to be able to take this first step. But no, really, you need to take that leap of faith to get it going. Results. Now, this is another thing. We like results. Whatever we're working on, we like to see that there is improvements. There isn't improvements, we start to feel like giving up. You need to stay committed. You need to go into the fear, into the hard time. Just like working out, to grow your muscles, you gotta lift heavy weights. You gotta feel the pain. You gotta feel the burn for the muscle to grow. It's the same with our mindset. You gotta go into the uncomfortableness, the pain and suffering, and the struggle in our with our anxiety to grow. We all expect instant results. We live in a world where we got everything at our fingertips. I'll use working out for an example again. You got this goal to get a six-pack. You gotta put the work into all the areas to make that happen. You're not gonna do it in 3 days. You gotta do it over time. We gotta understand that results take some time. Let me tell you guys a little story about myself. When I was about 17 years old, this was back in high school, 12th grade, I had this overwhelming fear of standing in front of a group. So basically doing the class presentation. My fear and anxiety towards that was so strong that I would not even go to the class for the whole entire 2 weeks that the class was working on that assignment. I would just skip that whole class for the whole 2 weeks and not even go, because that one thought of having to stand up in front of the class was so scary to me. I suddenly realized that, you know what, I gotta go through with doing this to be able to get over this. So as I went into college, you know, I was 19 years old when I started my first year of college. I had this big group presentation. So the presentation was in a classroom where the seats go up like that, so it's not like a regular flat classroom. It looks up, so it's even more scary to look up. And on my first I only had like 3 sentences, right? I'm like halfway through my second sentence and I'm sitting there all like and then I just froze up. I froze up for like 10 seconds and kind of just caught my breath, and then I finished up the sentence. I ended up losing marks because of that, but I still looked at that as a win instead of a loss. I could have said, hey, I did crappy, I can't do this, I can't do any more of these presentations. But instead I told myself, you know what, I got past the fear, I stepped out of my comfort zone, and I did it. I didn't do it the best I could have, but I still did it, and next time I can do it better. So throughout college, you know, probably like every other month for 2 years, we would do a presentation, a group presentation in front of the classroom, in front of an audience for a different topic. By the end of my 2 years, I was doing those presentations perfectly. I was talking out in front of the class confidently, and now I'm good at that stuff. Every single time before my group would go up, I would have that same anxiety, that strong feeling of anxiety. Every single time I just went into it and I improved every single time. I could see the results. I could see my marks going up. I can see just like my confidence in how well I spoke, and the amount I spoke was much better. So right after that first presentation, if I just decided to give up because I didn't do good and never go do any of my assignments again, then just because the results weren't good, then I wouldn't be where I'm at now. Everything you do is one step at a time, and you develop yourself over time. Hi, can I please get a small decaf with 1 cream? So, you see that I ordered decaf. It's because I noticed that coffee gives me anxiety, makes me all like, ooh, ooh, ooh. I haven't drank coffee my whole life, probably just for the last like 6-7 months.
But it's free, thanks.
Oh, it's free?
Yeah.
Perfect, thank you. I get my coffee for free. Please drop a like or dislike. If this video helped you at all, let me know. Subscribe if you're new, unsubscribe if you're old. I'm just kidding, don't do that. I like all you guys. I'll see you guys in my next video. Have a good day.